Hey loves, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am back with another bomb live. For those of y'all who are new to my channel and you do not know me, I'm a self-love coach that specializes in helping people radically transform their lives through one-on-one coaching. I've done the work on myself. I came to Colombia, lost weight. At the beginning of the year, I decided that I didn't like my life and I wanted to change it. I developed a plan, and in 6 months, I was here in Colombia. So I'm coming to y'all live from the beautiful country of Medellin, Colombia. If you need an accountability piece, if you need somebody to work with you, if you're interested in doing the work, send me an email at thepassportsis@gmail.com. It's also in the description. Guys, we have a really good show coming today. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about Erica Mena and Safaree crashing out all over social media. Nikki chiming in. Again, there's going to be a lesson in it. Okay, y'all know we talk about the mess, but it's really about the lesson. Um, what else are we going to talk about? Oh, I'm going to get into the interview, the I guess longer interview that Kamala Harris did solo, okay, with Fox News, and how she's she's done for. I don't know if she can come back from that interview. To be honest, they cooked her so bad on that interview. Um, we are also going to talk about these deadbeat mothers out here. Oh my God. And this pastor, okay? We got to talk about this pastor that was out here touching kids, baby. Had over a lot of victims. I'm going to say that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and light my candle for the vibes. I also want to give y'all like a message before I get into my live today, to be honest, because I want you to get fed when you come here. You know, we talk about the gossip, that it's about the lesson, but be consistent in whatever it is that you want to do. Okay. Um, you gotta get the attitude and the mindset of immediate gratification, instant gratification out of your mind, and develop a more old school mindset about the things that you want to do in life, guys, because that's the only way that you're going to see things through. You know, if it's not popping off immediately, it doesn't mean it's not going to pop off. You know, I measure things based on growth. Like, am I doing better? Am I further than where I was when I started? And of course, you know, you always want to assess a situation and make minor tweaks where you need to in order to see some improvement. But I promise you guys, if you keep going, like, you're going to see progress. So, you know, we're coming into a time where a lot of people are going to get frustrated. A lot of people are going to give up. A lot of people are going to be unhappy with their economic situation. So it's so easy to feel despair, you know. But, you know, it's okay to have those moments, but don't stay there. You know, keep pushing, keep moving, okay? All right. Hey, what's up, AP? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. We got a lot to talk about today. Okay. Y'all make sure that as y'all are coming in to hit that like button. I feel like I have enough people in here that's comfortable for me to go ahead and get started. AP, did you see Erica Mena and Safaree crashing out on social media yesterday? Like, they are doing the most. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Erica Mena is a video, like, she's a former video girl, right? She was in like Chris Brown's music videos back in the day. A very beautiful girl. And I think she got more known to the mainstream because of Love and Hip Hop, right? So she dated Rich Dollars on Love and Hip Hop. And she also dated Sin Santana, who was Joe Budden's baby mother. She basically used Sin Santana to get over Rich Dollars. And she dated Bow Wow, and then she dated Safaree, and called herself trying to throw shots at Nicki Minaj all through that relationship, even though Nicki don't want no parts of Safaree. Hey, Olivia. Hey, girl. I'm so tired of them. LOL. I don't know what's going on, but I'm tired of seeing the shade room posting. Girl, you are seeing the crashing out that happens when two narcissists get together. Okay. This is a situation where both people are trying to get the public on their side when really something is wrong with both of them, honestly and truly. And y'all know me, like I'm a woman. I would love to be able to take Erica Mena aside and just say Safaree is trash, a deadbeat dad, and a narcissist, but she is like, it's like trash attracted trash. Okay. So if y'all don't remember, she got with Sin Santana to get back at Rich Dollars. So they had their whole, lesbian relationship going. But she ended up cheating on Sin Santana. Not only did she cheat on Sin Santana, when they broke up, she was really aggressive, trying to fight her. And then she made all these fake accounts and got exposed, basically going on Sin Santana's page, talking trash about her, trying to call her ugly, like bring her self-esteem down, all this stuff. And it's like, how do you get with a woman that you're jealous of? And they're both pretty girls, but you could tell she was clearly hating on Sin Santana because, and she's a Libra. She's fun. She's light. It's giving air energy. She has a good personality. So it's like, not only is she pretty, but she's a likable person. Erica Mena is pretty, but because she's miserable, she's not a likable person. So I think Erica Mena was really intimidated by that, right? So fast forward, you get Erica Mena getting with Safaree. All right. That was so random. Now, to me, Safaree is already a corny dude. So if you get with a man like Safaree, especially seeing all the corny stuff he's done on social media, to me, that says a lot more about you than him. Because we all know that this man is a grade A straight up cornball. So if you get with him, you are part of the problem. Because there's plenty of evidence to suggest. It's just like somebody going and getting into a relationship with P. Diddy right now. And we've already seen all the foolishness play out. Okay. She always gave Mean Girl Karma's a MF. I hate to say, yeah, she's a bitch. I don't know what other way to put it. Like, she's mean. So anyway, she been going all on the internet, y'all. It's like ever since they broke up, she's just letting it be known that he's a deadbeat. He only sees his kids a couple times out the year. Whoop-de-woo. Now, little did we know, which we should have known. I mean, I suspected this whole time they've been sleeping together. So she's been trying to call him out for not taking care of his kids, but whenever he wanted to hit, he could hit again. Who is the problem here? Who is the problem here? Right? How you still laying down with a man that you say is not coming to see his kids? I would dry up instantly, right? And I personally feel like if you are a baby mother, and I understand I'm a single mom myself, I will say I do get help than a lot of women, more help than a lot of women who are in my particular circumstance. But there are things that my child's father does that I do not like sometimes. And I don't go on the internet and talk about it because I don't want my daughter to see it. I don't want my daughter to get upset because we're always going back and forth. It's not that we have our disagreements, but I just don't want the drama. I don't want a toxic environment. And this is what I've learned dealing with men. It hurt them way more when you treat them like, oh, okay, I got it. Well, like, especially if you have a man that it intentionally trying to put you in a bad situation or feels like your life is supposed to stop just because you have a kid, or if they try to tell you no and you just be like, oh, okay, cool, it's gonna get paid for anyway. When I tell you, for a lot of men, that either, if they real trifling, they not gonna care, right? But if they're just doing certain things to get at you over time, and if you're consistent with the baby, I got this anyway, um, they'll try to do more. I don't know how to explain it. They'll try to do more. If you just ignore them, you never talk about them, you treat them like they're a non-factor, they will do more. I think women feel safer with corny dudes as if they will have the control in the relationship. Baby, I never understood that because I ain't never been with one. Right. And as soon as I recognize, like, once I see you're a clown, I can't unsee it. Right. If I had those type of feelings that Erica Mena gets on the internet and express about a man, we are never laying up together. Yeah. But yeah, so and that's what I'm saying, guys. So I personally feel like as a woman, you need to like respect how you're out here looking on the internet, especially like Erica Mena is almost 40. Like there's no reason for her to get on the internet and be talking about her baby daddy drama like that. Uh but she's always, it's like she always begging him. That's lady, stop begging a man to take care of his kids. Go boss up. And I know it's not fair, right? And that's the problem. A lot of y'all are stuck on fair. Well, this is not fair. He should be doing this, or there should be consequences. Life is not fair. Hell, you yourself were probably born with some advantages that other people don't have. There are people who were born not being able to see, hear, and walk. Y'all got to learn to put things in perspective. Everything don't have to be fair, right? All you got to do is be able to adjust and learn from your situation and keep moving forward. All this trying to hold a man accountable that don't want to be held accountable, hold yourself accountable. Then your life is going to be better. Your life is not going to get better chasing somebody down, begging them, trying to make them be responsible for responsibilities that they don't want. Trust and believe. In the end, they're going to get there some way, somehow, but that's not your business and that's not your job. I had women stop messing with me because they said they didn't like feeling so weak around me. What you mean? Like being up in their feelings behind you? I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I don't like, I wouldn't stop. I can't feel weak around a man that is not a good man. Do y'all get what I'm trying to say? So, like, are you trying to say you were in a relationship with the woman and you were treating them right, but they liked you too much, so they stopped messing with you? I don't understand that mentality, right? And I personally like a man that stands on business and holds his ground and knows what he wants. Like, I personally don't like to be with a man that I can control, but you're not gonna disrespect me, right? Because there's a difference between trying to control a man and you're you're disrespecting me, or you dealing with other women, or you calling me out my name, or you laying hands on me. Like, I personally give a man a lot of freedom because I really don't care what you do. Long as you not, like, you know what I'm saying? No, long as I'm not out here looking crazy and you're not putting my body in danger. But like, I really could care less because I have my own life. Uh, but you're not gonna mistreat me. Yes, two in love and can't control their emotions. But I was single either though. You were single or you weren't single. Well, then if that's the case, if they couldn't control their emotions, this is what women have to understand. If it's the case that you weren't single, if a woman is with a man that got another woman, you're not going to be able to control your emotions. I don't care who the dude is, because we're not built like that. Like, eventually you're going to feel territorial. Like, eventually you're going to feel away because you feel like the main chick is getting things that you're not getting. You're going to feel away when that man tells you no because he got to go do something or spend some time with the other woman. So, like, in my opinion, it's not even about feeling weak. Maybe they thought, okay, well, I'm just too weak. It's about understanding that that is not a good situation ever for a woman emotionally, unless you got a woman that just stone cold hard to the bone, and she's dating you for money. Okay, like, is she dating you for money? Is she dating a whole bunch of other dudes for money? Then that's not even gonna matter. But even she gonna get up in her feelings when you can't give her no money because you spending money on your main chick, because her emotions are attached to the money, right? So, and that's what I'm saying. That's not necessarily, a woman might think, oh, I'm too weak or too in love, but it's like, no, that's really your ego. And not only is that your ego, that's your conscience telling you, I'm not supposed to be dealing with this, you know? So, a lot of times women will blame ourselves or feel like we can't control ourselves in that situation. It's like, that ain't even a situation you're supposed to be in for you to have to try to control your emotions, right? And a lot of the times, women, we don't listen to ourselves, and we don't listen to our emotions when dealing with situations like that. We try to suppress them so that we can seem like, oh, we just so hard and we so gangster. But no, you're not supposed to be dealing with that as a woman. Hey Jamal, what's up? Had to check in, got a lot going on, but I had to come through. Good to see you here, brother. I'm glad to see everybody here. Yes. Um, yeah, so I mean, and that's what that is. And so I feel like you had a situation with Erica Mena and Safaree, to where Safaree got with her because chased her down. We saw it, chased her down. They were on Love and Hip Hop. He got with her because she thought Erica Mena looked good. Now she looking worse as of late because she's lost all that weight, because she's been stressed out. And it's like, when you lose all that weight and then you got all this surgery, you got these big old breasts, you got this big old butt, but your arms and your face and your legs are too skinny, it starts looking funny. Sis needs to eat to even that out, you know? So you got this situation where he chased her down after he had the kids by her. It was like, you ain't nothing to me, you ain't nobody. And I think another part of this is, the more she kept trying to beg him back for his attention, the less attractive she became to him. Right? You lose your power like that as a woman. That's why y'all gotta learn. Don't beg these men. Once you start seeing the pull back, you pull back and you monitor the situation. And then once you say, oh, he ain't really feeling me like that, there's really nothing to say. When have you ever address the man about his disinterest in you and the behavior change? Like, never in the history of womanhood has that happened. The only thing that fixed that situation, and a lot of times it's just temporary anyway, is you just quit fucking with them. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss. Quit messing with them. Y'all seeing my real personality come out. Just quit messing with them. Quit worrying about them. Find you something else to do. Okay? Find you some better. Like, once you start working on yourself and you start accomplishing things, then you don't really care about what a man is doing. I'm being honest. Once I come into new money, it's up for such and such. I said this before. The only time I ever really get in my feelings about something a man has done to me, when I had to go back and assess the situation, my money was messed up. I don't know. Money, like being money, like when my money is not right, or where I'm not where I want to be financially, it makes whatever situation I'm dealing with a man amplified. As soon as new money hit my bank account, oh, that man won't hear from me. I'm out spending money being cute. I do not care. Erica doesn't give me motherly vibes. Safaree too old to be barebacking a woman like that. Now, you know what that situation gives with me? She gives a narcissist. But have y'all seen the studies that show? And again, my brother's here. I know y'all not narcissists, but y'all know how y'all always seeing on the internet, Black men and Latino women are made for each other. Like, this is the narrative. Like, it's like a trope, right? But what a lot of people don't know is that Black men and Latino women both have the highest rates of narcissism. That's why whenever you put them together, 9 times out of 10, it's always drama. Like, it always ends in some foolishness. And y'all not gonna be able to get with these Latina women. And like a lot of times, a black woman is more likely to try to like charge something to the game. A Latina woman, she ain't charging nothing to the game. Like she coming for your neck. Do you hear me? Even here in Colombia, these Colombian men will tell you about these women down here and the stuff that they be doing. Like they're very sweet, very kind, very feminine, very sexy, look good. Okay, but about their emotions, oh, they stepping. So you're not that like that narrative the passport bros put out there about, oh, these women are just more feminine and submissive here. Who, baby? They make black women look like child's play when it comes to their emotions and feelings. Like they will run you up out the country playing with them. So that's what it's giving. Yeah, Erica doesn't give motherly vibes to me. She's too busy being in these streets worrying about these men anyway. You know what I'm trying to say? She gives like she selfish. Okay. So I'm gonna go on Safaree. Y'all know he got a YouTube channel. I'm gonna go on his YouTube channel and we're gonna watch the video of him blasting Erica Mena. Now, with that said, I don't feel bad for her because she been putting him on blast and he ain't really been saying nothing, to be honest. But I think he had lining her up this whole time. I will say that. I think he always knew he was gonna come out and tell his story. That's true. LOL. Yeah, charge to the game. Yeah, we way more likely to charge to the game. The Latina woman, she ain't charging nothing to the game. Okay, give me 1 second. Thank you, AP. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. All right, guys, I'm going to let me. Okay, perfect. Look how dramatic and corny this man is. Like, this is how you know he came on here to play. He put a heartbeat at the beginning of the video. He's so dramatic. Okay. I'm tired of him already.
I don't even know where to start. Um, but I'm putting everything out there because the fact that people, even whether you know me or not, there still has to be like a certain level of common sense when it comes to just being a judge of character. And this has nothing to do with TV at all, none of that. Like this is real life because kids are involved. And this
Okay, so I'm confused because it sounds like he's trying to say, man, y'all should know me. Y'all should have common sense. Y'all should know I ain't doing this stuff this girl talking about. Safaree, what evidence have we seen to suggest that you are a stand-up guy? Y'all let me know. Chat, y'all let me know. Have you seen anything that suggests that Safaree is a good man who stands on principles? Because all I've ever seen this ninja do is get on TV and dance, get on the internet and dance, leak videos of his his man part, uh get on OnlyFans. I ain't watched the videos, but him and Erica was on there. Get on OnlyFans. What else? Be all in Nicki's mix. That's all I've seen. Him speaking on Nicki Minaj. I haven't seen anything that makes me like, oh, this is a good man.
deadbeat narrative, it's
Skip the video while my family suffers. Every second they need your support. I
Would I date Safaree? No. First of all, I'm just gonna be honest. Safaree don't look nothing like anybody I've ever dated. But his energy always just been corny, like corny, whack, lame. Uh, I don't like men that's always in the mirror. I don't like men that care more about what they got on than me. I don't like men that always I don't like men that's always on social media. Not that he can't be on social media, but it's like there's a difference between a man being on social media because he's trying to get to the bag, right? And he might have something good to talk about or he might bring something of value, or you're just on social media like just constantly attention seeking, like like an insecure woman. You understand? So it depends. It's not that he can't be on social media. It's like the spirit and the intention behind it, right? And no, I would never date anybody like him, and have never dated anybody like him.
Like it's just it's just so jarring to me. It it does give me a headache sometimes, but then
Safari gives he got sugar in his tank. I've always felt that.
I'm pretty good at just brushing things off, but people who know me and especially know my situation, they're like, "Yo, how long are you gonna stay quiet?" And I just, I be sparing people. And then at the same time, it's like, yo, it's nobody's business, but I feel like everybody just feels like they know my business. And if it's reported, it's news and that it's the truth and it's real. But I'm pretty sure that, there's some men out there who could relate to this. And when it comes to being a father in a co-parenting situation where somebody wants to have full control of every single thing and they can't have control, it's just not going to be a easy transition, especially when the other person is just used to it being one way or very controlling or
I can agree with Safari on that. And I've seen a lot of women be that way, trying to control every little thing that goes on when the kids are with the dad, right? I don't see how women live like that. Me personally, when I send my daughter to her father's house, I'm on vacation. I'm living my best life as long as nobody is physically harming her or doing anything crazy to her, I do not care. Okay. Now, there are some things that yeah, you don't want your kid, like especially if you're in a situation where the other parent got all these people running up and through the house and all these different girlfriends running up and through the house. Like, yeah, it's not a good look, but guess what go on in that house why that kid is not with you, that's not your business. You just got to learn, okay, if your kid comes and they ask you about it, you talk to them about it and you teach them right while they're in your house, right? But other than that, that's not your business. If you drop the child off with the father and he wants to go drop the child off at his mama or his sister house for the whole time, that's his business. You're just supposed to do what you're supposed to do per that court order or whatever visitation agreement that y'all had. Feeling resentful because you're not doing the same thing that he's doing. Really, if you, I don't know why y'all resentful. A lot of y'all, if y'all wanted to, could go drop your kids off with your mama too, but you're choosing to be a present parent. That person is choosing to push the kid off on somebody else. That's their business. And when the child gets older and the child feels a way about it, the father is going to have to account for that. That always happens. That ain't your business to be enforcing nothing.
Still wanted the whole family dynamic, and it's not there anymore. But I love my kids, and it's gotten to the point that I I have to put myself first, because I'm either going to end up in jail or worse, because I'm dealing with someone who is just, whose anger management is just non-existent. When I first moved to Florida,
Okay, so if it wasn't Erica Mena, right? Reactive abuse is real, right? And what is reactive abuse? That's when you got somebody playing in your head and playing all these narcissistic games, and you react in an extreme manner, in a way that shows that you're unable to control your emotion. However, we know Erica. And we know Erica is quick to try to lay her hands on somebody first. We know she gets mad about every little thing. We know that she has no emotional control. And I believe him when he says that she's always trying to control the situation. So this is not right. And I'm the type of woman, like, I've had people that I know in my personal life come to me and tell me they got into it with their man about something. And it might have been something like cheating. And they be like, oh, well, I beat him up or I put hands on him. And I say, girl, you're going to go to jail. If that man calls the police, you're going to jail. Keep your hands off that man. Leave. That's always my advice. Leave, leave. They gonna do everything but leave, though. That's why I just start, okay. Because when you tell these women, consider your children, keep your hands off of that man, it wouldn't be okay if it was the other way around. They don't want to hear none of that. They want to do everything. They want to get emotional. They want to fight the man. They want to argue. They want to try to control. They want to keep up hell. Don't care if they sitting in jail and behind this ninja, and who gonna watch their kids. See, a lot of women are trifling like that. Okay. So they don't care. They gonna do everything but the thing that makes the most sense, which is pack up your stuff and go. Hi, 680 ENT Entertainment. Good to see you. I think this is my first time seeing you here. Why are you laughing? Okay. If your man been showing you who he is since you met him, he's not playing with your head by continuing being the man you know he is. Okay, I do agree with that for the most part. I think though sometimes some of these men choose women who are already weak. And I know, because as a woman, I can spot weak women. People who like are either predators or have been in a bad situation themselves. They can spot when somebody's operating from a place of insecurity. Men know who to do it to, right? Now, I agree that over time, if you're not getting it, if you're not seeing the stuff that they're doing, then it's like you either slow or you just too desperate, right? And you want to stay at all costs. Well, then you got to deal with what comes with that, right? I don't like it when I see women that have children putting up with these situations and behaving the way that Erica Mena is behaving in this video, because you don't care that your kids are watching you. You don't care what your children see you put up with, and you don't care that your children are seeing you be abusive, right? Now you're teaching your kids that just because you get emotional, that type of behavior is okay, and she's too damn old. This is not some 21-year-old, some 23, 25-year-old. This woman is almost 40. I can't stand Safaree or Erica. I don't know why this industry and people like them so much. I don't know nobody that like them. I think they just pay the shade room to feature them. I don't know anybody who likes them. Nikki was with Safaree on the come up. Joe Budden was with Erica Mena. These are both industry pass arounds. I don't think Joe was. No, Joe wasn't with Erica. He was with Sin Santana. Sin Santana used to be with Erica Mena before Joe budded. They love. They just bad at it. Oh, they love. They just bad at it. Who are you talking about? You talking about those women that behave like Erica? I don't know if they love or if they're just too weak to like be alone. I think their concept of love is flawed. You feel me? Like a person that's operating in love is not going to behave the way that Erica Mena is behaving with Safaree because love would make her think about her children first. And I understand sometimes we're all human. You might get a little bit out of control, but then like you got to check yourself and pull back and be like, oh, but I can't continue with this because my kids are watching me. This woman is continuing to act a fool. Great point. Both of them move like teenagers. Yes, childish. These are like, and that's what I'm saying. I think we're forgetting how old they are because they look good, right? Safaree is not an ugly man. He's not my type, but he's not. Safaree's almost 40, so they look youthful. They look good. So we're forgetting that we're talking about two big grown people who are closer to middle age than being super young.
I remember I got a 2 bedroom condo, and the first time I had my kids come over there after my divorce, and I started the whole okay visitation meeting, having my kids for the days I was having them. When my kids first came over in my condo, it made me so depressed because I was like, yo, they just, I felt like they were so confined and I didn't feel good about it. And I said, yo, I got to get a house. I need a house. I can't have my kids running around in this condo and hurting themselves and just, it just not being a fit to raise, 2 children in a co-parenting setup. And I found my house. And I'm gonna be all the way blunt and straight up with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got this house because of my kids. I got this house for my kids. Seeing my kids be here running around is the best feeling, you know? You know, when you have children with somebody who at the end of the day
You know what? I give him the benefit of the doubt. I can believe that. And I feel like a lot of the times, some men won't talk about this. Um, and this is not to excuse not taking care of your kids, but I feel like a lot of the times men cannot deal with feelings of inadequacy, especially when they're not where they're at when they want to be. So it's like when the kids are around and they're not doing well financially, they feel bad or they feel like the kids are a reminder that they don't have the means. I think that affects men more negatively than women. And even women will get affected. Like, there have been times where my money wasn't where I wanted it to be. And then it's like I got my daughter asking me for stuff and it's stressing me out and I feel bad. But women were more likely to just be like, you know what? I'm doing the best that I can do. I'm showing up in all these other ways. It's going to be okay. I think it really like men are more psychologically fragile in that regards, and I think that can keep a lot of men from wanting their kids around them. And I know it sounds crazy, and as a woman we be like, well, nothing should keep your kids from you. Yes, like that's true, I do agree, but then you also do have to consider that men and women brains are completely different.
it shouldn't even have happened because I should have just noticed certain things when it came to parenting. You know, when you're with someone for 3 years and they have a child and you probably saw the child 3 to 4 times because the child was put off to go live with somebody else. And, you know, you kind of look past it when you don't have kids or you're not thinking about that. I never even was like, yo, why doesn't your son live here? And then when you finally get to have a conversation with the son and find out why, it's crazy. You know, imagine speaking to a child who's of age and knows what's going on. He's 16 years old. And he says, if I ever had to live with my mother, I would kill myself. I wouldn't make that up, you know? And it
I don't think he's lying. And y'all know Erica Mena has a son from a previous relationship. Matter of fact, her baby father passed away. Was it last year or the beginning of this year? And I never really saw her in the media too much, doing too much about the other baby daddy. So I don't know what happened with that. But you got to think about it like this. You got a woman like Erica Mena. We never really just too much saw her with her kid, right? And not just that, she always chasing men. She always chasing relationships. She always, doing love and hip hop and filming. And there's nothing wrong with a woman going and getting her money. But it's like your whole life is centered, your whole storyline is centered and behind you chasing these ninjas. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think that if she's in a relationship with a man, is she gonna put her child first, or is she gonna put that man first? A woman like that always gonna put these men first. Always going to put her emotions in behind these men first. So what's gonna happen is most of the time that kid is gonna end up getting at least neglected to a large extent. You know what I'm saying? Um, Women like Erica will be saying, I love you in a weekend of hanging with a motherfucker. Yes, because they don't understand what love is. You know what I'm saying? Women like that think love is feelings, butterflies, uh, caring about somebody at the moment. When it has nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's more so infatuation. But also men have to understand that women have been taught that is what love is via music, movies, social media, right? So a lot of us are walking around confused. And I'm saying that as a woman who has walked around just as confused. Now I ain't never been like Erica Mena, like that extreme with it, but I've been confused before. But as you get older, you're supposed to learn. That's why she keep going through the same things with different people. Right now, you got to go through the game to get the game, but it should always be a new lesson, a new situation, and you're in with new levels, new devils. But she going through the same basic stuff with basic ninjas over and over again. This makes men without children not want any. And I understand that. I think men need to be more selective with who they have kids with, because again, we got to put some accountability on Safaree. We've seen Erica Mena at her big age crash out several times on the internet, like several times on Love and Hip Hop. And like, don't get me wrong, at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, all the way up until 21. I was the crash out queen. Do you hear me? I was going to crash out and did not care who it was. But as you get in, but hold on, I'm a Gemini, so we don't start nothing. It always being behind somebody starting something with us. But as I got older, especially when I have a kid, I'm not trying to be sitting up in nobody's jail. I'm not. Who gonna watch my daughter? But we seen Erica with a child being late 20s, early 30s, crashing out. Going through the exact thing with my sisters and nieces. Even dogs and cats aren't safe around crazy women. I believe that. I think so. I agree with you on that. Hi, Tahira. I hope I said your name right. Good to see you here. I think this is my first time seeing you here. Jamal Erica Mena was never with Joe Budden. Yeah, that was since Santana. I've been saying that for years. Love takes time. It honestly and truly does. Like women have to learn to slow down. And I'm gonna agree with the fellas in the comments. Women, our emotions are dangerous. They are dangerous. Like we need to acknowledge that. You know, when we are most capable of violence, when we are most capable of doing physical and emotional harm, is when we don't have emotional control, right? We got to learn to control our emotions. I heard somebody say, like, dangerous is a woman who learns how to be in control of her emotions, and dangerous is a man who learns how to control his sexual urges. You know, once a woman can control her emotions, she's unstoppable. Once a man learns how to control his sexual urges, the sky is the limit. So we both have these two battles, different struggles, but important nonetheless. We both have these different struggles that we have to learn how to tame and control. Just like we sit around on the internet telling men that they need to learn sexual discipline because them being sexually undisciplined is dangerous and harmful. Our emotions and us refusing to learn how to control our emotions is equally as dangerous, right? It's especially dangerous to our children. Safaree ignored the red flags. I kind of don't feel bad for him. I feel bad for the kids. I think he liked the drama. He likes the drama. It's the ego boost. Somebody chasing after him, and then y'all gotta understand his ego is probably all the way tore down. That Nikki left him. You got the biggest female rap star in the world. She's even bigger than most of these men, to be honest. Right? Dump you publicly, move on, date somebody else. Meek Mill, now he turned out to be a booty bandit, or getting got by the booty bandit, but nevertheless, at the time, I'm sure his ego was hurt. Okay, and then she just still go on, get married, and just basically move on and not even talk about Safaree. You understand? So I'm sure his ego was hurt, and somebody like Erica Mena will come into a man like this life and treat him like he is the sun, the moon, and the stars at first until she start acting crazy, and give him this ego boost. Yes, y'all, please hit the like button if y'all are coming in. Yeah, so you already know us Gemini women now. May Geminis, they weird to me. They very weird. I don't. They weird people. I don't like them too much. But June Geminis, generally we're cool. We're bubbly. We try to keep the peace, but we can crash all the way out, like really bad, to the point where you think something is wrong with us, but you did it first. So I had to learn to early, as soon as I had my daughter, all that crashing out was over. I had to learn early because I didn't want to be sitting up in jail. Laugh my ass off. I could have told you that you was a crash out. I got a Gemini baby mama, and my ex-wife was a Gemini. Both were crash outs. Yeah, AP, it's so bad that now I just like how, how do I say this about Gemini? A lot of Geminis uh we don't do too much talking. June Gemini, because y'all gotta understand we got both sides. So it's 0 to 100. So I've had to learn to like just be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like with somebody, for example, I had a teacher, a student's mother called me a bitch last year, and um, it got so bad. I don't. It got so bad. I got in that woman's face that she immediately got quiet and backed up off of me because she knew, oh, there's not gonna be no more talking. Like we if I say another word, we fighting. But I've had to learn how to just be quiet. Like when somebody says something that I'm like, okay, it's either fighting or nothing else, I just get real quiet. But I used to crash out so bad. Hey Clementine, good to see you here. Welcome. Not controlling my sexual urges has definitely been the biggest hindrance of my wealth and peace. Yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying. We got different battles we got to fight. Women got to be honest with themselves. And I know men aren't lying because I meet so many women, and this is why my channel hasn't taken that route. Y'all know, like, I 1000%, y'all know I watch Princella. I 1000% agree with everything that she says. But now she's like, okay, we off of men. Now I'm coming with the accountability piece for the women. Now all the women were all good and dandy when she was talking about men, but now she's telling the truth about women and people are upset, right? So there are a lot of channels in this space that solely the women solely choose to focus on the shortcomings of men. And it's like, we're not going to talk about how, as women who don't even date other women, we've had all these weirdo experiences with these women who are narcissistic, jealous, and unable to control their emotions. Sky ate the lemon, lol, but I picked up what you was putting down. No, I truly believe that. I truly believe that when a man, you got to understand, that's the biggest distraction for men. Having a whole bunch of babies with women, uh even if you're sleeping with women and keeping your emotions out of it, they all getting their emotions involved. Then if you're not doing right by them, they trying to sabotage you. A lot of these men who, like, think about think about Diddy, Jay-Z, Russell Simmons. Think about all these Will Smith, right? These men who have accomplished these great heights. What has been their downfall? Women, women and pussy. Women and pussy, sex, basically. Okay, like, that's the only thing. Think about Bill Cosby. What destroyed his legacy? Women. Okay, and whether or not these men were set up by the industry, they still engaged in those acts. Bill Cosby admitted he used quaaludes on women. He said everybody was doing that. So you can become as successful as you want to become, but your history with women can be your downfall. That's the only thing that can bring you down. Safaree should have picked up on the conversations with her oldest son. When a child says that, it's a huge sign to run for them hills. And you know what? The child might not have said that to him until after he had already got her pregnant. But I'm gonna agree with you, like Clementine, there was too much evidence to suggest that this is not the woman that you want to have kids by. This is not even a woman that you really want to date because she act a fool. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm June 7th. And that's what I'm saying. June Geminis, we're cool, man. We can be cool. We can be fun. We also have a really conservative side to us. But when we crash out, it's up. Queen Maker is a real one. She's not always right, but she usually is, and the truth hurts. Yeah. And this is how you know somebody is speaking truth when they're not, it's gonna hit everybody. Do you understand? It's gonna hit everybody. The channels that are fair and down the middle of the war of the sexes don't get the same support. I agree with that. I do agree with that. I think even like with Princella, she had to start her channel for a long time just focusing on men, and boom, she got to where she was. And now she's like, I'm off of them. Let's talk about the women. But even then, it's not that like, y'all know how Kevin Samuels was just focusing on men, but he decided that don't make no money. So then he just started like saying all this, some stuff, a lot of stuff he said was true, but a lot of it was just for clicks and views, and you can tell, right? Um, and he just completely flipped the switch and was never willing to admit some of the shortcomings of men. So I think I like the way Princella has went about it. I really do. Yeah. Well, June 20th is a Cancer, I believe. I thank God for my baby mamas. All are great mothers and good women. I couldn't stand Kevin Samuels. He was manipulative and anti-black. It spoke for the 1%. I think that Kevin Samuels like men. Okay, anyway, I'm not gonna get on that. I think he liked men. I do agree. I made a video agreeing. I agreed with a lot of stuff that he said, depending on what context you're talking about it in. But there was some of it that I was like, you're just saying this to make men feel good. For example, Kevin Samuels would get on the internet and try to make it seem like if you're a single mother, nobody is going to want you. Now, I will say this, that kind of depends on your age. For example, if you're a 21-year-old girl and you have a baby and you're trying to date other dudes who are 21 and they don't have kids, your options are limited. As people get older and they begin to have kids, that changes. People start having their own kids. People have relationships that they that haven't worked out. So in that regard, that becomes almost a non-factor as you get older. And it also depends on how many kids you have and how you manage your kids. It also depends on the culture. Here in Colombia, they never gave a damn about a single mother. I promise you they don't care about that over here. They don't give a damn. That's not even a conversation over here. These men, you can have 3, 4, 5 kids. These men will date you. They'll be in a relationship with you. They marriage here is really more of a thing that people with money do over here, but I promise you they don't give a damn. Do you hear me?
It sucks that
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Okay, yeah. Okay. She right on that cusp. How was Kevin Samuels anti-black? Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. Age don't matter. It's the woman and how she keeps herself. Well, yeah, that's true. That's another thing I had to learn too, just from talking to men. Like a lot of men are saying between the ages of 18 and 25, that's the only time you should be dating a woman. Honestly and truly, that depends on culture. Again, if you come here to Colombia, the dynamic here is most of the time the woman is going to be older and the guy is younger. That is so common here. They don't care. That's not a conversation. Nobody cares here. Another thing, even just me talking to men in the United States, depending on the man, a lot of them prefer to date older women or they prefer sleeping with older women. So that is just a matter of preference and opinion and what the man wants in his life or for his life. Not every man wants to have kids, so they don't care if they date a woman that is almost 40 and they're 30, or they're 28. It just kind of depends.
I gotta like really just run this down because of this smear campaign and somebody who gets such a high on just talking about me and picking and choosing what kids you want to, have in the forefront and get whatever extra attention you get off of it. So I kind of just looked past certain things and thought that, maybe I could help and make things better. But when you aren't with somebody and it doesn't work out and the two of you are just like in a weird space and everything is a fight, especially in front of the kids, like I'm not going to subject.
This is not okay. I really am disturbed. And a lot of people are like, he set her up. He knew those cameras were there. Okay, let's say that he did. She still shouldn't be behaving like that in front of those children.
Myself to that. My kids have never, ever seen me upset. My kids have never heard me yell.
You're dead to me. Yeah, you are too. You did that. You're going to leave me more than I need you. No. Before I need you. Remember that. Lifelong.
This is my salary for my online job that I have working for a USA-based company. And I'm not from the US, I'm from Portugal. Getting a job.
And yeah, go ahead. You too, bitch. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because your other 2 kids are going to be miserable just like you. Oh, fuck all of y'all. Jerk off. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. All because of you. All because of you.
That's just not in me. But, on the other hand, the other side, they don't operate or think the way I do. And when
And you know what's crazy about a woman like that? This the type that she will do all this yelling, screaming, throwing things, putting her hands on him. But I promise you, the first time he would have ever laid hands on her, she would have been on the internet calling him abusive. I don't stand for that type of behavior. I really don't. I need my passport, sis. Yeah, like these Colombian men, they're very like gentlemanly too. Like I'm not saying all of them, like, trust me, they got a high cheating rate. I think they're like the third highest uh cheaters in Latin America. But it ain't just the men, the women be over here cheating too, like that. but but as far as but they like women here. They like women. They talk like they don't talk the way they talk in front of other men, in front of women. They're very respectful. They address you as princess, queen. Like they will go out of their way, even if they don't know you or not trying to holler at you. If they see you struggling or getting out of a vehicle, they'll open your door. They'll hold your hands. My neighbors, right across from me, if they see me bringing up groceries, they will take my groceries and take them to the door for me. So they are very respectful. If you talk to a Colombian man and you date him, hell, he asks you stuff like, okay, did you eat today? They're very, very caring towards women. I don't know how older men date way younger women. I couldn't deal with the 21-year-old now that I'm 41 with the 16-year-old daughter. Yeah, I think some age gaps are way too big. I agreed with most of Kevin said. Other than that, other than the fit part, I like my woman a little chubby and older. Kevin got young men thinking you only supposed to date beautiful 20s and they not ready to be cuffed. Yeah, like here's the thing. I do agree to a certain extent that as a woman, being as fit as you can is going to open up your dating pool, because men that prefer chubby women, that's niche. you know I think all men, if they see a woman that's attractive and she's fit, they gonna want to mess with her. You know what I'm saying? Even the ones that like girls that are chubby, as long as the girl got others. Like normally, if a woman is fit but she got tatas and she got a butt and she got some type of cushion, a man that prefers chubby women is still gonna date her, especially if she got a pretty face, especially if she's got other good qualities. So I agree with him that being physically fit, that opens up your dating pool. I think then you have some women who um if 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 you got a pretty face and you got a nice shape, even if you're chubby, and I'm saying this as somebody who I need to lose about 20 more pounds, but I have a small waist. But it's just like I got too much fat on my arms, right? I got too much fat on my legs. Uh, I ain't never really had no problem as far as dating, to be honest. Like I don't feel like that ain't never really held me back. But I still am working on my health for me, not because like I'm not gonna stay chubby just because men like it, or I don't have no problem dating. I'm thinking about the long term. Safaree admitted that he was still sleeping with her. I don't feel sorry for him. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. You still sleeping with her and expect her emotions not to be up and down. What's sad is those kids could see mama screaming and crying, and dad can be trying to protect himself, not fighting back, but the kids will only see mama is screaming and crying, so dad must be hurting mom. Yes, that's true. That's true. That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, hey, I feel like women, as long as y'all are willing to like adjust your cultural expectations, some women could come to, Latin America and find what you're looking for. I love that that's how I am. I love that shout out to those men. That's why men need to be better so we can be more like that. Of course.
When I have my kids and someone is pretty much trying to police and parent and like watch every single thing I'm doing and call, oh, who's there? Well, what's going on? It's just so unhealthy, so excessive, to the point where it just creates a lot of issues. Like, you can't pick and choose when it's okay to say, okay, the kids are good, and then if we're not, in a good space, then it's an issue. I've taken my kids to Jamaica. If I was such a bad parent, nobody's gonna let a man take the kids to Jamaica by myself. I didn't have no help, and I don't want a biscuit for it. I did it. It just creates such a level of toxicity that it's better to just be like, you know what? I'm going to deal with this through the courts. And when this thing gets sorted out, how it's supposed to be sorted out, then, okay, we'll figure it out. So for the past.
I agree with that. And I think all men need to do that to begin with. I was having a conversation with one of my friends from school, and he was like, he doesn't agree on with child support. He doesn't think the courts should be able to sort it out, especially if you're already taking care of your kids. And what a lot of men don't understand is it's protection for you, especially if you already know that you intend to do right, that you intend to pay your portion of child care. Go ahead, get you some paperwork on visitation. Then that way, if she try to keep the kids from you because you got a new girlfriend, okay, that's fine. I'm calling the police, coming with my court order. You got to give me these kids, period. You can't be saying, oh, if you don't give me X amount of money, I'm not going to let you see your kids. No, boo, this is the paperwork, and I pay you child support. Another thing that men don't understand is if you were not married to a woman, y'all were just boyfriend and girlfriend, and she decides that you still sleeping with her. Let's say you sleeping with her for 5 years and she never put you on child support. And you sleeping with her, you doing all these things to placate to her emotions just so that you don't get on child support. There's going to be a day where she goes and puts you on child support. Whether it was your fault, she felt like it made the most sense, or she got up in her feelings, you're going to get put on child support. Them whole 5 years that you were sleeping with her, you might have been giving her money every month. It doesn't matter. That's all a gift. You're going to have to pay back pay now. So you might as well get over this whole mentality about the white man system and somebody trying to force you to do something that you don't want to do. Get over that, being hard-headed, honorary, and trying to keep control, and go put yourself on it. Beat her to the punch. That way she doesn't have anything to hold over your head.
Few months. That's what I've been dealing with when it came to, looking for lawyers and just trying to figure out this whole thing, because my original standing order for this child support and the visitation and all of that, everything, it originated from Georgia. We moved to Florida. When we moved to Florida, everything has to get transferred over. It just got transferred over like this week. So now I get to find out what this new setup is going to be, because I refuse to go to her house to pick up the kids. I refuse. I'm not. It's just too unstable, too unpredictable. And the only way I would do it is either a police precinct, or if the kids are somewhere else and I'm picking them up from there. But everything is just done off of spite.
There's a brand new AI tool that does prompt to YouTube video. As in, you type in a short prompt and within a couple minutes, it gives you an entire edited video with a voiceover, footage, text, and
being malicious intent on the other end. Me, I don't move like that. I don't live like that. When people look at me, I don't look like I'm carrying stress. I don't look like I'm losing weight. I don't look like...
You know what? I can agree with that. Safaree's never given mean and miserable. He does not give that. I never really just seen him come for nobody, or speak on nobody. Even like that whole Nicki Minaj situation. I'm pretty sure there's more things he could have came out and said. So I'll give him that. He does look young. he does not look like he's carrying stress. Now, the argument could be made because he's not the primary caregiver taking care of these two young kids. That, of course, he's going to look younger. Erica looks like she's aging rapidly. She looks bad. I'm not going to lie. She looks bad now. But a lot of that is self-inflicted stress, to be honest. Like, a lot of that is her trying to control a man. A lot of that is all that yelling and screaming and crying and throwing things. Like, I'm of a strong belief, ladies, that if you with a man and you feel like you dealing with a man and you feel like you got to be doing all that crying, yelling, and screaming, sir, I got to let you go, because you're not going to have me out here looking ugly. I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to choose my looks over you every day.
Like, I'm just harboring so much hate inside me that it physically begins to show. And I'm a father. I'm a grown-ass man. When I have my kids in there with me, they're under my care. They don't have nothing to worry about. So I'm not going to have anybody acting like they need to know every single thing going on. When I was filming Love and Hip Hop Miami and I had my kids here calling, oh, where the kids at? What they do? Oh, you better not be filming with the kids. Oh. First of all, I've never filmed with the kids ever by myself on Love and Hip Hop. They're not a part of my storyline. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not gonna be in the park pushing the kids, playing, like, of course they wanted to see me film with them, but you know, both parents have to sign off on that. And you know that wasn't happening. And you know, the last instant of when we had a transfer with the kids, she called me and said, hey, I'm in the area. I could save you a trip. I could come pick the kids up. And I'm tired and I don't want to do the drive. And it was like really like early in the morning or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. I let her in, lay down in the kids' room. One of the kids was in there. Next to the kids was laying with me in my room. And when she gets up, she's like, she wants to have a conversation with me. I'm like, okay, let's talk. As soon as she starts talking, it's yelling, screaming, all of that. I said, yo, look, I'm not doing that. And if you can't talk to me normally in front of the kids, where the kids don't realize that we're having a discussion about something that we're not agreeing on, then I'm not having it. Oh, I don't give a F, blah, 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 all this yelling, whatever. So I'm like, okay, forget it. Just, you know, you here, pick them up, you can leave. And in my face, all of that, blah, 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 and all that. So I'm like, all right, you don't want to leave. I call the cops. I'm on the phone with the cops. I'm telling them, hey, you know, before this escalates, I would like police presence here because I want her to leave. Filming me calling the cops. Okay, I'm calling the cops. You're filming me. You're the one with the anger management problem just going off. So break stuff up in the house, has the kids running over glass, breaking stuff up outside.
Let me say this, all this filming stuff too, that's weird. And I never all the way trusted when people are filming, because I don't know, like, yes, you're recording the other person crashing out, but I don't know if you are tweaking how you would normally behave, or if you're not behaving in a manner that you would normally behave, because you're just trying to make yourself look like the good person and catch this other person's reactions. So I always question that. You know, I never fully trusted. I think it's weird, but people are doing it. Now, it's different if you are, like, for example, you might have couples who have cameras already in the house, and they're both aware that the cameras are there, and then an incident happened that's caught on camera, but they put these cameras up for different reasons, maybe security reasons, also, or so that they can watch their kids. I think that's a little bit of a different situation than just pulling out your phone, and you might have pulled out your phone after you was the one that already crashed out first, you know. So I don't never trust that.
After that, I just was like, you know what? If I can't pick up my kids in a place that is like a drop-off point or a police precinct, I'm not picking them up, because I'm not going to her house ever again in life. My daughter, she has an iPad. I'm blocked on the iPad. My daughter's 4 years old. She doesn't know how to block people. She doesn't even know how to text. Childish, just like BS.
That's childish, baby. I cannot wait until my daughter gets old enough because I don't want my daughter on an iPad or cell phone because this is not, if you know anything about child development, that's way too young for them to have access to those type of devices. But baby, I cannot wait until she can have one so that her father can call her directly on her phone. Okay, I promise you. Yes, makeup does age women faster too. I find like that's why like at first I was like, okay, well, I want to come on here and make sure I have my makeup done every day before I get on camera. But I stopped doing that if y'all haven't noticed because like I feel like when I look at my videos where I put all this makeup on, I look older than when I just keep the makeup off. And I feel like if the makeup sometimes like depending on how I do it and the lighting, it makes me look good, but it still makes me, even if it looks good, it still makes me look older than what I am. And I'm like, well, if the makeup is not enhancing my looks, then what is the point of putting it on? He said to the police, get this bomba clock demon away from me. Yeah, he did. Guys, if y'all are just now coming in, welcome. Thank you for watching. Please make sure that y'all hit the like button. That helps people know that I am on live. Yes, they do. So yeah, it's not good to wear every day. And I've seen these women on these femininity channels telling women, you need to be doing your makeup every single day because you're a grown woman. And like to a certain extent, yes, I feel like the more important thing is taking care of your skin, like making sure your skin looks good. I'd rather spend my money to go get my face uh laser resurfaced, right? And that laser resurfacing, guys, is basically when they like peel off the old layers of skin and then you have like your pores are smaller, any acne scars or sunspots you haven't gone. I'd rather spend my money on laser resurfacing than makeup, you know? Like I'd rather spend my money to make sure my eyebrows are microbladed and look good every day than makeup. So I think yes, to a certain extent, it's okay to do like little touches and tweaks. Make sure your lashes and your eyebrows and your lips look good and your skin looks good, but you don't have to walk around with a full face of makeup every day. You don't need makeup. Foundation for your skin tone and lip gloss is more than enough. Yeah, you don't, when you take care of your skin and you take care of the basics, you don't even need all that. Hi, Lilith. Good to see you here. Yes, moisturizer. That kind of stuff is way more important. I make sure I moisturize my face every single day. Like, you gonna look way better than a girl who wears makeup every single day and she does not take care of her skin. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to catch up to the chats. That's the only thing I put on my face. Yeah, and your skin will thank you for it. Or y'all see people who like those women who they put on makeup every day, but the makeup look dry and cakey. Like, no, I much rather have a good moisturizer. Yes, y'all know y'all can't do super chats on my channel yet. So if you want to bless your girl with a cash app, I would appreciate that. But of course, if you just want to vibe out, we can do that too. Tiny bit of beet juice on the cheeks. Oh, okay, girl, you coming with the natural remedies. All right, let's continue.
Yes, like that. So I'm like, okay. The next time I got my kids after that, oh no, prior before that, when I went and I was gonna get a restraining order because you know she's doing stuff like showing up in my crib 5 o'clock in the morning, pulling out a ladder, hopping the fence.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
This is trespassing. Her body look good though. Her body do look good. I ain't gonna hold you. Baby, it was that little tiptoe run she did that took me out.
Banging on my windows. My son's birthday party was like a month after that. No, like it was a while after that. And then when I went to the party, they said, hey, you want a restraining order, but you went to a party, she was there, so you must not be in that much beer. So I had to drop that case. And this is me having to have two different lawyers. So this is two separate lawyers for one lawyer for that and another lawyer for this whole family court thing. And next time I got them, it was for, you know, beginning of the summer. And I was like, yo, I'll keep the kids for the summer. Let me know. My mother and my sister's here. They love being around them. They want to be around them. That's the issue. I can't reach my daughter's iPad, pickup situation.
That is so that's how you know you miserable, y'all. During the summertime, y'all know me. If you have been following me on Instagram or following this channel for a while, that is my time where I step out. I could not imagine not letting my daughter go with her dad for the summer. That is when I do all of my travel. That is when I get to acting up. That's when I'm out here in Las Calles, baby. I'm not holding you from getting your daughter. Please take her. And it's because I'm with my daughter so much. Like, I love my baby. Don't get me wrong. But as a parent, especially as a mother, and she has two young kids, like, ma'am, you need a break. But that's what I'm saying. When you're trying to get at somebody so bad, you will literally destroy yourself trying to hurt somebody else. Her body is banging, but I can't stand her. Yeah, body is tea. She just needs to put on a little bit more weight so it doesn't start looking bad. Out of curiosity, how exactly does Safaree earn an income? I don't know. I don't know. You know, we're starting to learn a lot about the industry and how these people go to certain people to get some money. You know? So I don't know. I'm pretty sure he does. You know, I know sometimes I've seen him at concerts. He probably has a couple of brand deals with small companies. I honestly don't know.
Isn't sorted out. So when I finally do get them, I sign them up for summer camp. She gets so mad at me for signing them up for summer camp. There's a summer camp by my house. She lives 40 minutes away from me. Summer camp. I'm like, cool, I got them. Let me at least do that. Because, you know, they were here. And my mother's like, yo, you can't just be having them here playing, whatever. She was like, they need some, you know, structure. Sign them up for summer camp. I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. I signed them up for the summer camp. I paid for it. I paid $2,000 to put them in summer camp. They went to summer camp for 3 days because she had such an issue with me putting them in summer camp by my house. And was like, why didn't I talk to her, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I have the kids. They're under my watch and care. I want to put them in a summer camp by me. And I'm going to show y'all because this, like.
Take a right hand, shake it out.
And my whole thing is maybe he couldn't not afford to, but maybe he had other work that he had to do during the day. Just because you send your kids with their daddy don't mean that their dad has to be with them the whole day, especially if they have to work. When my daughter goes with her dad during the summer, I'm not sure how long, but I know at least for a few weeks, she's at summer camp because all the grown people have to go to work. They still have to make money. So ain't nobody taking off work for days and weeks just because they got their kid. That's not how that goes.
How many people here want to learn faster? How many people want to remember more?
And yeah, I know he's a celebrity. He doesn't necessarily have a 9-to-5 job. That doesn't mean he doesn't have work that he has to do.
Just to talk, but put them in summer camp. This was the first month. This is what it was supposed to do. This is what it's supposed to be. This is the schedule.
Oh, okay.
Summer camp July, boom, boom, boom. The entire month. This was going to be their schedule for the entire month. This is their lunch schedule. This is one of the things she made for me in one of the days that she was in summer camp. So I'm like, okay, what's wrong with putting the kids in summer camp? And it just was such a control thing, and it created it created so much drama. Oh, drop the kids off. Oh, you putting them in summer camp. Oh, just nothing made absolute any sense. Nothing. Like, it was just such an irate, ignorant conversation, because it's to the point where we don't even speak direct. Like, My house is set up for them. I got their shrine set up. This is for them. This is their area. You walk in. This is Maji's room. Ain't no deadbeat doing this. Deadbeats ain't doing this. My daughter's room is bigger than.
And I mean, again, just because he has the room decorated and they have nice rooms doesn't mean that Erica's lying about him not getting the kids more often. But I don't know. The more I'm listening to him, I'm looking at this. He's right. A lot of men have kids, and even when their kids go with them, their kids don't have a space, or their kids don't have clothes, or you got to send clothes with the dad because he's living like a single person when he doesn't have the kids. So I'm gonna say that is not giving deadbeat, and that's quite a bit of stuff, right? So it doesn't look like that's something he just put in there, right? Also, what it looks like is happening with Erica Mena, and for what he's saying, if it is true, it's not that he's not getting his kids, it's that maybe she wants him to get his kids during certain times and he's not getting them. Y'all get what I'm trying to say? She wants him to get the kids when it's convenient for her, but he wants to do things when it's more convenient for him, right? Or he'll offer, okay, I'll take them for an extended period of time, but because she gets up in her feelings, they don't go. Now, that's why I say custody agreements need to be worked out, visitation needs to be worked out, and it needs to be honored.
Then some adults.
And just because you feel like the dad should be getting the kids when you want them to get the kids doesn't mean that they're a deadbeat dad.
And it's just so insane to me how people just, oh yeah, you're a deadbeat. Yo, I know about real deadbeats. And this situation is all about control. This woman texted a naked picture of me to my mother and my sister because she wanted to let them know that, oh, you and your son, I'm pretty sure your son's not telling you what's really going on between us and all of this other nonsense. Okay. Me and you are still.
First of all, that's what I'm saying. Erica's really messed up in the head. Like, she really got a dark energy about her. Because it's one thing for you to be like I really don't got no problem with a woman who, let's say you getting into it with your baby daddy, but you don't want it to escalate. Like, me personally, I'm calling your mama. I'm calling your sister. Like, if you doing too much, hey, and it's not even on some trying to get, especially if you crashing out, it's not even on some trying to get people on my side. It's on some, I don't want this to go no further. Talk to your son, man. Like, he doing too much. Talk to your son. It's to try to avoid other people getting involved. So me personally, if you're doing too much to the point where I'm starting to feel like this is going to get out of control, best believe I'm calling your mama. So somebody that care about you can talk to you, right? But and I don't care. They can even trash me whatever they gotta say about me to get you to chill out. I don't care, right? But this is going way too far, and she's having to do this because she has a bad relationship, which I never understand. A woman that got a bad relationship with her kids' father's family, right? I don't understand why that relationship wouldn't be in. Y'all don't gotta be the best, but you can be cordial and respectful. And a lot of the times, even if you feel like they are being shady, how you respond to things can dead a lot of situations. You not being emotional and behind the man can dead a lot of situations. Like, you just being like, oh, okay, well, this is, what it is. You not speaking on stuff publicly can dead a lot of situations. So we do have a lot of control over that, ladies. You can't let these women get you up in the emotions. Like, you got to come into it with the mindset of course they're going to take their son's side. Of course they're going to take their brother's side. That's family, right? But what is my goal here? Is it to try to keep the peace, or is it to try to get them on my side? If the goal is peace, It don't matter who if they take the son side or the brother side, right? If the goal is peace, they don't gotta necessarily feel that you're right and that you're okay. Can we just de-escalate this situation, right? And me personally, like my child's father's mother and sister do a lot as far as helping with my daughter when she goes over there. So I don't have no reason to get into it with them about nothing. They helping me out. So I think this is crazy and sick that she sent them a picture of him naked just to try to prove he's still messing with her. You care too much trying to prove that this man still wants you. You care way too much because you want him, which is the problem. So it says, I figured since I know your son is such a liar and since I know he lies on me all the time to you and your daughter, just figured I inform you of him being up in my bed last night. Okay, now you look even dumber because you over here complaining about this man, but you letting him sleep with you. So this is not the flex. This is not the stunt. This is not the gut check that you think it is. It's ironic how he paints me out to be such a hateful monster, but yet won't leave me alone. Well, he might be toxic too, and he's a man. You might have been the easiest thing he had sexual access to. That's why I was talking to y'all about sexual discipline. That don't mean that this man thinks that you have good, positive energy and that you're not a monster. He might just not be able to sexually control himself enough to not come lay up with you, or might not have something better to go lay up with at the moment. That's it. Don't put too much weight on that. I can't stand it when women who are toxic be like, oh yeah, but you can't leave me alone. You can't leave me alone, ma'am. Leave me alone, ma'am. That doesn't mean anything. That don't tell us anything. We all know that most men are incapable of fully being alone and going without sex for long periods of time. That means absolutely nothing. Guys, if you're just now coming in, please hit the like button. Yeah, I did hear that he had credits on a lot of those early Nicki songs, which were really popular. Yeah, he does have a nice house. I ain't shit by no means. I'll say that, but I just don't think he's that dude. Not real, no substance to him. I mean, I'd agree with you on that. But if he has writer credit, and he did write on songs, maybe he's really talented. I heard that he would ghostwrite some of Nicki's raps. Some people, how do I say this? There are certain people who have that it factor, and when they rap and they perform, people take to it more than the person that actually wrote it. Like, I'm pretty sure there are some Lil Wayne raps that another person could get on stage and try to rap, and it's not going to hit as hard. You know what I'm trying to say? So some people are better off just behind the scenes. And that's what I'm saying. Safaree just gives corny vibes. Don't make him a bad person. He just corny. She has a very dark energy. I just think he's empty.
Still, having a relationship, and that's over with. Thank God that's over with. Like, I prayed about that, and there's absolutely nothing physical going on anymore. And you taking naked pictures and sending it to my mother and my sister to do what and prove what? My mother and my sister are the most least problematic people on earth. My mother's not one of those mothers. She's not like a TV mother who's here acting rah-rah and doing a bunch of ignorant nonsense. Like, my mother is so calm and zen. And anyone who knows my mother and my sister and what they do, like my sister, my mom.
I believe that. And if you know, like, a lot of Caribbean mothers, they'll be cool, calm. Now, they might be messy behind your back. They will talk behind your back. But a lot of the times they cool. They trying to keep the peace. They gonna go put some on the stove. Like, they gonna help take care of the kids. So I'm not saying all of them are like that. I'm sure there are some that are problematic, but I like Caribbean mamas.
Mom, they are in the holistic field. Everything about them is Zen, herbs, teas, spiritual. And You're sending naked pictures of me to my mother and my sister.
I am.
For what? And it's like, that's the type of nonsense I have to deal with.
Yes, I am. Let me tell you, if a man is going way too far, I will definitely call his mom. It would be in an extreme, like it'd be in a situation where it's like, bro, you doing too much, or I feel it about to get out of control. Or it might be a situation where we're not really seeing eye to eye on something and we're arguing about something, and trust me, like you got to take this case by case. And I feel like it's about to turn toxic. But I know for a fact I'm in the right. I'm gonna get another woman to come talk to you. And honestly and truly, that's always worked for me. It always has, you know. But that's because I know what I'm coming to them with is right. Like I thought about this before I even approached you. You get what I'm trying to say? So I ain't on the phone arguing with and going back and forth with nobody's mom and having bad beef and blood with nobody's mom or sister or family. So no, I'm not calling your mama for no foolishness, but I will call her if I feel like we can't respectfully work the situation out. But it is important enough to where it needs to be addressed, and we're not going to be able to be mature enough to deal with this on our own. Yes. Yeah, because Mariah running her mouth. You know what? I promise you, I'm not gonna get to Kamala today. I'll talk about her tomorrow. I'll talk about that. We're gonna hit that Fox News interview, but I'm gonna finish this up. I promise.
I cannot ever pick up my kids in peace. Everything is just long and drawn out. And it's just so unfair that when a woman says something, no matter what, it's like, oh, it's the man's fault. People are like, but you didn't know. And I'm kind of like, you know what? Well, I thought I could make somebody not be just like as angry.
You know what? I'm gonna give some grace right here. Okay. I'm gonna give some grace because if a woman was to say what he just said, he thought he could change somebody, I would have some understanding and compassion. Because as a woman in my younger days, I've been there before. Okay. Now, I will say they too dang old for this. I will say that. But you got to believe people when they show you who you are. Erica Mena has always been an angry and miserable person. She's not going to chill out. There are certain women that take pride in being crazy. And you'll know them and you'll see them. They'll be all on social media talking about how crazy they are. And it's like their personality, right? It's like you can tell those who crash out and they don't care about crashing out and they feel like that's the only way to do relationships. You got to stay away from those type of people. You got to stay away from those type of women. And he got to take some accountability in the fact that to an extent, he thought he could control the situation. He thought he could make her into somebody that she wasn't. Now, again, it is Safaree. I'm sure he was probably doing some things, talking to some women. Y'all know he be super flirting and flirtatious. I'm sure all that was going on. But you especially don't need to be dealing with no crazy chicks if you know that's how you move.
But then when things just started like going sour and not working out, it just became it's just not even realistic to deal with. I saw somebody say one time and I totally felt it. And if you're a father.
Mucha gente me pregunta si no es explotación o tomar ventaja contratar en estas plataformas.
I know you could relate to this. And it's like, they're like, yo, when you're dealing with a woman who makes you being a parent, they just make it so hard. It is so draining dealing with someone who's trying to draw you out, someone who wants a reaction from you, someone who talks about you nonstop because they want a reaction. I'm not one of those people. I don't care about people liking me and caring and proving my point. Like, hey guys, look, no, this isn't true. This is what's really happening. People who know me, my mouth has been quiet for years. I don't say nothing. It's just so draining. Like everything about it. Like her own.
He's right though. Like he has been quiet. Like she's been poking at him, speaking on him, on Love and Hip Hop, publicly calling him out. She's been doing a lot, and he has not said anything. So I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Her own family is going after her for child support because she doesn't do anything to help her son. So then to try to make it seem like I'm some deadbeat and I'm not trying to be there for my kids, I would love to be there for my kids, but it would be nice for you to get out the way. Let me be a father. Let me take my kids and go wherever I want with them. My kids are never in danger. They don't ever have to worry about nothing. This is not about money. This is not about child support. My kids love me.
I feel like Safaree has enough evidence, unless she has evidence to the contrary, to where if he needs to get the kids. I'm sorry, this is a situation because she does so much and she's so miserable and she's crashing out like this all the time. She don't seem mentally stable. He has video evidence of her assaulting him. He needs to try to file for sole custody of those kids. And he has enough evidence to do that. Like if he really wanted to put her in jail, he could have did that. So, we're going to talk about him trying to get his child support lower, but honestly and truly, for his peace of mind, he needs to just go ahead and get the kids, set up visitation with her. He needs to try to at least be the custodial parent, set up visitation. If he's too busy, get you somebody to come live in the house and help you take care of the kids. Okay.
Daddy. I'm gonna go to Target and get them. Yes. I just got my bed. I want to go to
Mommy, she was missing you. She was looking for you. I just want to.
Now, I don't like that he recorded that because that could have just been a situation. Y'all know how kids are. They, a lot of the time, especially when they're young and they don't go over their dad's house often and they're having so much fun at their dad's house, they might not want to come back to their mom's house. Now, me personally, my daughter always ready to come home after a long summer, but I know at least for those first couple weeks in the summer, especially if she hasn't seen her dad for a couple months, because we've always lived long distance, she's happy, like very happy to be with her dad, and then it's like, okay, I'm ready to go back with my mom now. So I don't know about
say
that.
like, doing shit like this don't benefit me. This don't help me. Like, I don't like this kind of attention. That's why I usually never say anything. But this thing has been going on for so long that it's like,
You good, Jamal?
how much longer am I gonna let ish slide? It's so much. It's just so much things to list and name. Like, I would have to sit there with a pen and pad and write down every single incident and all that. But I don't. I'm doing this one and one time only. Like, but it's just a lot of corny shit. All the fake Instagram pages, harassing my mother, harassing my sister. If I'm talking to a,
I believe what he's saying about the fake Instagram pages. Something is really wrong with her because she did that to Sin Santana. Y'all remember when her and Sin Santana broke up and she was harassing Sin Santana all with these fake pages all on social media, and she got outed for that?
girl, all of a sudden the girl starts getting harassed from the same fake Instagram names, and it's like, yo, it takes so much energy to like be like that, and I don't have that type of energy. Even doing this right now is giving me such a headache, and I'm not the kind of person to get headaches. My head is pounding right now just talking about all this. But
okay, I'm not gonna finish this story time. I'm gonna go to her like reactions, because I am gonna go ahead and hit on Kamala today. Uh, might as well. I done ran over my time anyway. So Here we go. I'm gonna pull this up. So this is what Erica Menace had to say. Give me a minute. Let me make sure. Oh, she wrote so much. Okay, I'm gonna read it for y'all. I'm gonna make myself small so that y'all can see the text. Again, if you're just now coming in here, please hit the like button. And if you like my content, subscribe. Y'all know I'm trying to grow. It's a lot. Okay, so she says, this all happened in 2023. Well, girl, that was just last year. This so-called restraining order he's talking about, he tried to get was in 2024 and very out of the blue. This is the problem I have with abusers. 2023 was not that long ago. And if you've still been saying at least like threatening things, she might not have even crashed out at his house, but you've been threatening and being hostile. That man has every right to not feel safe and say, you know what, I'm just going to try to get a restraining order. So no, baby, it's not out the blue. You think that just because those incidents on camera happened last year, that that's in the past. That's the problem I have with crazy folks. And that was after his attempt to try and get back with me in May 2024. The sick part about it is the videos he's posting was all in 2023. And the one of me being enraged was because he violated my body. How? Okay, how? So she said he violated her body. I want to know how. You got to be specific because that could go either way. People might think he put hands on you, or to me, this sounds like because she didn't. If he laid hands on her, she decided she gonna say it. And again, that's not to shame women who speak up against DV. You should, but I'm saying like she don't seem like the type. She would have been spoke up about that. What it seems like is he might have been sleeping with another woman at the time. I wanted answers on why he would just put my health in jeopardy, but he's not admitting that part. He's also not admitting that he had to drop his fake restraining order attempts because of all the evidence I had, which I have not posted yet, was in my phone, begging me in front of our kids on his knees, literally in front of our kids to take him back. Safaree, you must not got no hoes. I'm sorry. You must not have no women. You must not get ladies. But he's corny, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he's corny. Y'all gotta understand too, like a woman who might not have anything going for herself, Safaree might be that dude to her, but he's in an industry where most of the women that he's around have money, or they have access to men that have more status, money, power, and influence than him. So he's not the most attractive option, So, and that's what I'm saying. He might have just been going back at a weakness, like, dang, I'm not having any luck with these other women. Ain't nobody really trying to get with me. I might as well go back to my baby mama. And not just that, she seems narcissistic. So I'm sure she has some level of emotional control over him. And we got to be real about narcissistic women, y'all. They exist. That evidence is proof alone wouldn't have caused him losing the entire filing. This newfound, it's hard to get a restraining order just in general. As women, we know that. This newfound YouTuber using kids and both his exes you have violated, gaslit, and provoked to the ugliest end for your YouTube views. Now, Erica, you was just throwing shots at Nicki Minaj when y'all was together. Now you want to bring her up. And okay, so what? He's a YouTuber now. You're on Love and Hip Hop. So what are you talking about? Why were you repeatedly coming to my home in May 4 through 7, 2024, crying in my Ring camera for me to let you in if you're so traumatized by me? Again, this is how y'all, if you ever been in a relationship with a narcissist that has mind control over you, they will lay hands on you, dog you out, abuse you. And if you are mentally weak, you take that as you're the problem. You need to change. You feel like you can't do any better. You will go beg to stay with that person. Okay. So that's not, to me, I'm not seeing where she's not abusive. I'm just saying that she had mind control over him. You have been gaslighting me for years, and when I react, you're so quick to make it happen in your home so that you can record me. Well, he didn't make anything happen. Now he recorded you, but you're in control of your own emotion. It isn't ironic anymore. You've been plotting this whole video, which is why all of a sudden now you want to be a YouTuber. You have been purposefully trying to make me have financial burdens by not doing your part when it comes to the kids. So much so that you have went months and months without paying child support until I had to get the actual Department of Child Support to start taking my child support out of your bank account directly. Well, ma'am, you should have did that to begin with. And really, he should have did that to begin with. He has been quiet all this time because the truth of it is he couldn't deny any of the truth of it. Well, no, I think he's been quiet all the time because you full of drama and he didn't want no drama, you know? He's now talking about he can edit and put together last year's torment together. That wasn't that long ago, sis. And edit it up to make it seem like what he has been doing behind closed doors is valid. This man by choice missed his daughter's birthday this year and showed up to his only son's birthday this year empty-handed. Okay, maybe he didn't come to his daughter's birthday because he didn't want to be around you. Because you acting like that, and how I seen him acting with his family and him, I'm not coming to know. No, I have a separate birthday. So why? And he, okay, so he came to the birthday party empty-handed. He came though, sis. Everything's not about gifts and money. Maybe he was struggling. I don't know. But he showed up. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes a man can't win from losing. Why is it you're making what you don't do for your kids about me? You have put me through enough and won't admit to that, which is okay. But honestly, what's your excuse for your absence when it comes to these kids? I don't know. You had them in July, picked them up on Friday the 4th, and put them right into a summer camp. Mind you, you only had them until the following Tuesday. Ma'am, that's not your business. Who cares? They're not in your care. It's not your business. They were at a summer camp, probably with people who were professionals and had background checks and all that. Stop it. Which means those days you actually had with your kids, you weren't even trying to spend quality time with them. That's between him and his kids when they get older. Okay. You literally put them in a camp. She put that in quotation. Man, was it a camp or not? What are you trying to say? That I was never informed of. He don't got to tell you. Just so you can go out and about your life for those days. Who cares? All of a sudden, he's a YouTuber and wants to be honest with the world. Bullshit, this whole shit was planned by him. And I'm not surprised, just like he went around showing videos of his ex after causing so much trauma in that relationship, where he is doing the same here. Weren't you just trying to stunt in front and floss on Nikki? I'm not saying that Safaree probably did not tell a lot of the wrong that he did in the videos. I'm sure there are some things that if we were there to see and we knew about, we could say, yeah, you was tripping, like you wasn't right for that. But that doesn't change the fact that she's off her rocker. Okay. So here go Nikki. Hold on. This is Nikki being messy.
Hear this, but good for you. Good for you. You see, sometimes you need to leave people them alone. And you see, sometimes when a queen is minding her business, y'all thinks that them why, you understand, getting at the queen convo. Y'all think say they want the queen life. I don't know who needed to hear this, but good for
Yeah, because I mean, she sat up there taking all them shots about Nicki towards Nicki Minaj. She wasn't worried about her. Okay, sis, you got the man that you wanted. Didn't turn out how you thought it would. Whether he was the one who sabotaged the relationship or you sabotaged the relationship, it don't matter. It's over now. But you got what you was looking for, baby. So it is what it is. Guys, my camera is going to die soon, but that's okay. I'll still stay on here and do Kamala. Check email, sis. Hold on, I'm gonna check it right now. Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk later on, okay? But I see you. I see you. Yeah, some is Nikki throwed off too. But yeah, she been minding her business, and because Erica Mena felt insecure, she was throwing shots at Nikki the entire relationship. Well, now you going through it, sis. So congratulations. All right. But in short, I don't feel bad for Erica Mena. I think Safaree needs to go ahead and just get his own kids. Period. Get your kids. And that's the only way he's going to make it out of this situation halfway stress free. Okay. So let's see if he's about that life. Okay. With that, he doesn't need to go try to get his child support lowered. He needs to get his kid and put Erica Mena on child support. And you know it's bad when me as a woman is saying this, because I was just telling y'all yesterday that I feel like children need to be with their mothers. And this is a situation where I don't agree with my general sentiments. So let's get on. We're going to talk about Kamala Harris, baby. They cooked her on Fox News. Okay. Absolutely cooked her. Okay. And the Shade Room, they chopping up clips. They trying to make it look like Kamala Harris did good in her interview against Fox News. Like she was standing on business. They so like, I'm telling you, they got to be getting paid tons and tons of money. But I'm gonna go on the Shade Room and pull this up. You know how they kind of chopped up the clips so that y'all can see, and then we're gonna watch the actual interview. Okay, give me 1 second. She said, now I will say this because I was on her for not doing an interview by herself. So she went into the lion's den. So I'm gonna give her credit for that, even though I shouldn't have to, because that's something that you should be doing as a presidential candidate anyway, right? You shouldn't be ducking and dodging interviews. But finally, she decided to give the people what they were asking for, but I quickly understood why she hasn't wanted to do an interview by herself this entire time, and especially on Fox News because she's terrible at it. She's terrible at it, and her record is so bad that if she can't control the narrative, if she can't control what questions get asked, and if she can't control how much time that she's on there, she's going to make herself look absolutely terrible. So they cooked her. But the Shade Room is trying to make it seem like that is not what happened. Okay. Let me go ahead and share this. Baby, that's I such is life. You know, I can only be me. Again, I want to be clear before I talk about this, guys. I'm not voting in this election. So I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. The last time that I voted in a presidential election in the United States was in 2020. I voted in the primary, and I have no problem saying that I voted for Bernie Sanders. I'm very disappointed by how he got done during that election, and I'm very disappointed in the way that he conducted himself during and after that primary. very disappointed in Bernie Sanders. So I have decided that I am not going to vote for any candidates unless I see evidence that we actually have candidates who are genuinely for the people. And until I feel like our election process is not absolutely tampered with. Yes, I did vote for him. I have a lot of critiques of him since then. Yeah, he did. He did. And I don't respect it. All right, so let me share these little clips they took out. All right, so this is her on Fox News getting questioned about immigration.
To terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act.
Do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning?
The first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
Now, she never answers questions. So he says, do you regret to terminate Remain in Mexico? So basically, y'all are going to see when I pull up the full interview. He's asking her about executive orders that their administration immediately overturned when Joe Biden got into office. Now, Joe Biden, that administration put Kamala Harris in control over the border, right? So he's asking her about things that immediately got overturned. She wants to bring up acts that were introduced into Congress. But the problem is these acts takes time to get passed. So if you're coming into office and you're opening up the border immediately, right, then even if you pass this act through Congress, you've already busted wide open the floodgates for people to come in here. Now, again, I don't have a problem with immigration. I don't have a problem with immigrants. I have a problem with things not being done in decency and in order. I have a problem with people that are having their entire lives upended because criminal elements have snuck in with other people who are just trying to come here and make a better life for themselves. Now, let's continue.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the. Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please?
But
you have to let me finish.
You
please.
had the White House and the House and the Senate,
and they didn't bring up that bill. I'm in the middle of responding to the point you're raising.
Okay, that's another thing he's telling her. Okay, y'all had the people to do it, and you didn't even do it. All right. So y'all just be introducing bills just to say you did it, but y'all are not really about immigration reform because it's either they like to keep us divided on the culture war topic or they have other agendas. And this is what I'm saying. When people were trying to say during Obama's first term, everybody was against him just because he is a black man, when you had a super majority in Congress. So what are we talking about here?
And I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
The first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill. We have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and put more resources, getting more judges, what we needed to do to tighten up penalties and increase penalties for illegal crossings, what we needed to do to deal with points of entry between border entry points. That's the work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress. We have done a number.
Okay, so here goes somebody slow. Either they slow or they're a bot in the comments. She cleared him. Did y'all hear him getting cleared? Did y'all even hear him answering the question? Okay, I didn't hear her answer the question. Okay, I heard her deflect, but I didn't hear an answer to the question. She cleared him, and typical men trying to make this an identity thing, trying to interrupt an educated woman. No, he already heard her little spiel coming, and he was irritated. Her neck disturbs me, not the neck disturbs you. So we're gonna watch some of the actual interview. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. We're gonna watch this on let me see, what's the name of this YouTube viewers channel? Let's see. The Cartier Family. Okay, we're gonna watch this on the Cartier Family's channel. Y'all go subscribe to them when you get an opportunity. I think it's best for me to react to this because they've already chopped it up. I don't have to go look for it. So I'm going to share this.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Brett.
You know, voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Starting off hot.
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
do you
now,
just a
which
number?
is-
Do you
but-
think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is
Donald Trump.
that we have a broken immigration system.
Don't want to answer the question. He asked her a question. Answer it, baby. Then you can say what you want to say, but go ahead and answer the question and then continue on.
That needs to be repaired.
So your
And-
Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
It's a
an
rough
immigration
estimate of
system
6 million people
that
have been
needs to be-
released
You said cut the
into
shit.
the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So looking back, do you regret the decision to...
Okay, and I'm going to pause that. Now, there is this rhetoric, right? That, people who are immigrants and they come here, they are less likely to commit crime than an American citizen, which that is true if they're coming here for the right reasons. Like if they are coming here to like work, establish themselves, work a legit job, then like, yes, they are less like, because they want to be under the radar. So I don't want to paint all immigrants as criminals. But my point is criminal elements come through with them. So if you have somebody, for example, a lot of the prisoners that they emptied out in the prisons in Venezuela that is coming here, they're not less likely to commit crime than the actual citizen. They were committing crimes in their own countries, and they got to get it by any means when they come over here. And then on top of that, if there's not a real paper trail on them, they can really commit these crimes, and it's going to be harder to detect them or find them than the average U.S. citizen.
terminate remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called
And-
the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the. Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding,
But
please?
here, but
you have to let me finish.
you had
please.
the White House and the House and the Senate,
I'm
and they
in the
didn't bring
middle
up
of
that bill.
responding to the point you're raising,
Okay.
and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll give her that. Like, I feel like he's so irritated by the games that she's trying to play that he just wants to get on with it. But he does need to let her respond and then return back to, well, okay, but the question was, you know, he can still hold her feet to the fire while also allowing her to finish her sentences.
We recognized from day one that, to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people. And our focus has been on fixing a problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and put more resources, getting more judges, what we needed to do to tighten up penalties and increase penalties for illegal crossings, what we needed to do to deal with points of entry between border entry points.
Now, notice she's saying what we needed to do. What did you do, though? You're not saying what you did. And all the evidence suggests that there weren't there wasn't increased security, that there weren't tighter fines, that there weren't stricter consequences. Like, we're not dumb. We've seen what's happened in New York. We've seen what's happened in Chicago. We've seen what's happened in Colorado. Okay, we've seen what's happened in all of these places. I'm from Texas. They were just getting into it with our governor, Greg Abbott, because Greg Abbott put barbed wire along the border. So we thought we were going to have a whole standoff and civil war at the border because they were upset at our governor for trying to secure it. So what are we talking about here?
That's the work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, to actually strengthen the border. That border bill would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why I believe the Border Patrol agents supported the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States, which is a scourge affecting people of every background, every geographic location in our country, killing people. It would have allowed us to put more resources into.
Okay, but if she would have left the policies that were already, if they would have left Joe Biden, because he was the president, if that administration would have left the policies that were already in place alone, then the flow of fentanyl would have already been slowed down. It's increased. So you can't overturn executive orders, then try to say, okay, well, we're going to pass an act. We're going to introduce an act that doesn't pass, even though you have the people to do it. And then try to blame the Republicans for not voting on the act for the reason why fentanyl is flooding the country. When if you would have just left things alone until you got the act passed, then we wouldn't have this problem. But you want to come in and y'all wanted to come in and kind of like stick it to Donald Trump and his supporters. Now, with that said, I feel like a lot of times when bills get passed, guys, or when they get put up to a vote, a lot of the times they will sneak things in the bill intentionally that they know that the other party is not going to go for. And when the bill doesn't pass, they can at least say, well, we tried, but they didn't vote for it. And they can point the finger at the other party, but they neglect to talk about all the other stuff they snuck in the bill that they knew that the other party wasn't going for. And it sabotaged their own legislation intentionally. And it's not just the Dems that do this. The Republicans do it the
Prosecuting
game.
transnational criminal organizations, which I have done
Yes, ma'am.
as the Attorney General, former Attorney General of a border state.
Madam Vice President, a couple of things.
Prosecuted trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And
six
Donald Trump,
Democrats-
but let me just finish.
Six
And
Democrats
Donald
voted
Trump
against that bill.
learned about that bill and told them to kill it because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And in this election, this is rightly a discussion that the American people want to have.
Okay, now she blaming Donald Trump, who wasn't even in office at the time, for the reason why that bill didn't pass through Congress, as if he really just has that much power to control the entire Congress. Like he wasn't even president at the time. Truth be told, a lot of those Republicans, establishment Republicans, don't even like Donald Trump enough to try to take orders from him. They don't like him, to be honest. So what is she talking about here?
And what they want are solutions, and they want a president of the United States who's not playing political games with the issue,
I hear you.
but actually is focused on fixing
Six
it.
Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it. These are the six Democrats.
Wow, Bernie,
But more importantly, back to the original premise, Jocelyn Nungari, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Brett,
those
I think it's
families
really, I think
an apology?
Let me just say,
great question.
first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that.
Lincoln Riley.
There's no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So
These are the games they play. So she's going to try to like appeal to the empathy of people and make it seem like she's an empathetic politician. Honestly and truly, their record on this has been so bad that the only way that she would have had an opportunity to fix this is ownership. Instead of trying to deflect, instead of trying to play these games, just say, you know what? We messed up. We did X, Y, and Z. We did not know it was going to have these consequences, and it was unintended consequences. And this is specifically what we are going to do to make sure that we can prevent this from happening in the future. But the problem is, if she does that, then she's going to have to say a lot of the stuff that Donald Trump says, right? She's going to have to bring up policies that she knows is not necessarily popular with a lot of Democrats who don't live in these areas and have to deal with these problems. So then she can't call Donald Trump a racist anymore, right? If she takes ownership and responsibility for the problems and develops an actual plan to immediately fix it. And guess what? She's in office right now as the vice president. Joe Biden is still in office. They could do something about it now. Honestly, if they wanted to have an opportunity to sway the votes of the American people, they could do something now.
So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold.
No, ma'am, if you would have just left things alone until you could bring a good deal to the table, then maybe these things wouldn't have happened. And that's the problem. No accountability. Leave stuff alone until you can come with something better. You don't just open the faucet and let things leak everywhere and flood out your house until the plumbers can come. Ma'am, leave the faucet closed to begin with and there's not even going to be an issue, or we can figure out whatever issues there are.
Hold it all together
Madam Vice
to
President.
ensure that no future harm would occur.
And for those of y'all who didn't watch my show yesterday, I did a show on immigration yesterday. Some of y'all might come into this and y'all might feel like I'm racist or I don't like immigrants or that I have a thing even against illegal immigrants. And it's absolutely not true. I'm an immigrant in a country. I'm here in Colombia legally, right? There are rules that I have to abide by here. And if they found me to be here illegally and doing stuff I didn't have and breaking their laws, especially, I would get deported to the United States. It wouldn't even be a question. No Colombian person is going to sit up and have sympathy for me about it. So my point in saying that is it is okay for countries to have immigration laws, rules, and regulations. When you leave the United States as an American citizen, you are going to have to deal with another country's laws, rules, and regulations regarding immigration. Why we feel like we are not entitled to those same laws, rules, and regulations, I don't know. But that is insane, and there's nowhere else on earth that you can go in the world where people have where people don't have immigration laws that they uphold. Okay.
And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Brett.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers.
And all of this, there was a solution. Okay. All right. Let's say you brought a bill to the table. It was a bad deal. Bring another one. Keep working until you find a solution.
Talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what
I
I'm
will
saying.
tell you that I am so sorry for her loss.
She's not, no.
I'm so sorry for her loss. Sincerely.
That was a great example.
But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
But do you want to answer
in all fairness, I told you, I feel
this is so crazy because he's not even in a position right now to participate in solutions. He's not even in office. You are in office. Joe Biden is in office. I'm sure, like, here's the thing, y'all, especially when they try to make it seem like the other party is holding them back from making the changes that they want to. Sometimes that is true. But all I hear is if I hear a presidential candidate come to me whining and complaining about how another party is stopping them and always holding them back instead of taking accountability, what that tells me about you is that you're ineffective and you don't know how to make a deal with these people. You don't know how to talk their language. So why should I vote for you again when you're ineffective? You can't do anything for me. And there have been effective politicians. For example, Lyndon B. Johnson. Now, you can critique him about the Vietnam War. I certainly have my critiques. That was an absolute disaster. But when he wanted to get something passed through Congress, he was a very effective politician. Everybody knows this about him. He would go in them back rooms or behind closed doors, and you'd have a politician saying they weren't voting for such and such. And whatever he needed to do to make it happen, he was able to go in and sway and persuade and work his magic. So there are effective politicians. You're not going to be an effective politician if you are constantly sabotaging your own legislation, if you are constantly demonizing the other side instead of trying to get with them and work something out, and if you're constantly bashing their constituency and making their constituency not like you even more. All you're doing is thickening the divide. So this administration is ineffective. Why should anybody vote anybody from that administration back into office? You don't deliver. You can't make deals. You can't reach across the aisle. And every time you can't do something, you blame the other side. So you're ineffective. That means we need to remove you and get somebody in that is effective. Okay. When she does answer questions, it's because they give her the answers. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I done went all the way back. I won't lie. I missed the Clinton years, regardless of what we learned later on. You know, I was really young during that time. I will say, I feel like economically, we didn't have as much stress. But as to my understanding, a lot of the issues that we have now began in that era, you know. But at the time, it seemed cool. Thank you so much, Skinny Boy. I got the best moderator in all of YouTube.
Awful for what she and her family have experienced.
During that time, you said repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
Wow.
I think we've had a broken immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration even before.
Okay. Yes, we have had a bad immigration system. I'll give her that. We have never had anything to this magnitude in modern history. Y'all understand? So I'm from Texas. We've been had people coming across the border illegally, right? But it seemed like it was more of a steady stream, more than like a mass bum rush, right? And then that was a different time. The immigrants that came from Mexico that came to Texas, they came over here with the understanding of we have to help each other. We have to create our own businesses. We have to like go to work. Like we have to do whatever we have to do to make it happen because nobody is going to help us but our family that's already here that, you know, we can go live with. But they went into a business with themselves, you know, like this was a different mindset. They weren't coming to Texas and we were mass housing them with the expectation that they would get vouchers for apartments, money with cards on it, and health. Like, no, it was not that. This is something completely different. So for her to try to diminish it and make it seem like this isn't a new issue that has been introduced by this administration is being intellectually dishonest and dismissive.
Let's all be honest about that. I have no pride in saying that this is a perfect immigration system. I've been clear, I think we all are, that it needs to be fixed. We need more. I was just down at the border talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure you probably, I know Trump. You investigate and you are a serious journalist. They will tell you, we need more judges. We need to process those cases faster. We need the support for those cases that should be.
¿Quieres aprender inglés pero no sabes por dónde empezar?
Skinny Boy, no, I did not see that. I'm going to go look it up after this live.
Si la respuesta es sí, la oferta más fácil.
Prosecuted.
And look, he probably look old and dried up from all that hoeing he been doing all these years.
They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that's going to get fixed, Brad. Well, that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question. There were 90 plus executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those were Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but you frequently talk to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Wow. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support.
She's cooked.
They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done. These guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard.
Okay, so... But y'all tried to go against them when they tried to secure the border. So you want to, in one breath, act like you understand what they're going through, but then threaten federal action when they try to actually do something about it.
They're working around,
which is why they're voting for Donald Trump, to be honest.
Around the clock.
It's the fake empathy for me. It is the fake empathy and no real answers. no real accountability, no offer of real solutions.
Get it?
There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago,
Yes or no?
and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I make that
Yes
statement
or no?
over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
Just say no.
If that's the case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, who governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state law.
Wow.
So do you support that?
Wow. Great question.
We are very clear, and I am very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
Okay, all this equivocating. So this is one thing I will say that I like about Donald Trump. You ask him a question like that, he gonna say whether or not he agree or disagree with it. Like when he got that question when he gets asked about abortion, he tells people all the time, I think the states should have control over that. He don't say he pro-abortion, anti-abortion, right? Because honestly and truly, y'all know Donald Trump used to be a Democrat. Y'all know if it was him and a girl talked about she was pregnant, he sent her to the clinic with a quickness. Okay. So he just says like I think, and that's a valid stance. That is not a overstepping of the question. Do y'all understand? Because technically speaking, if you follow the United States Constitution, if you're aware about it, that is not per the Bill of Rights and anything else in the Constitution. Even though I myself am pro-choice, that is not the right of the federal government anywhere in the Constitution to regulate abortion. Per the 10th Amendment, all powers not given to the federal government are left to the states. So whether you like it or not, this is a states' rights issue because the federal government has no jurisdiction over abortion. Truth be told, even in cases of unaliving other people, that gets prosecuted as a state crime unless it was an incident that crosses federal borders. But if it happens within a state and it doesn't cross federal borders, that is a states' rights issue, and the Constitution says absolutely nothing about abortion, meaning the federal government does not have the right to regulate it. Period. And I think we should all just let it be. Even though I am pro-life, I think we all need to just let the states and their constituencies decide. Yes, there will be some women who will not be able to get access to abortion in certain states. I'm from Texas. It's completely illegal. But guess what? Those girls were still getting pills sent to Texas. I don't know how they were getting them. My high school kids were having their abortions, right? You can go to another state and get it where it's legal. Okay. I think we all, both sides, leave it alone. Leave it be. It's not an enumerated power of the federal government. They have no business trying to regulate it. That is the best thing for us all to do. Stop trying to control other people in other states. Mind your damn business and let's move on. Let's keep it real. We know his history. Oh, for facts. Yeah, we know about Bill. Oh, yeah. She's something else. Hillary used to be my hero until I saw how crooked she really is. Yeah. During that when she ran against Bernie, yeah, that was terrible. That's why Bernie is a chump for saying he don't care about her damn emails. Those emails exposed her treachery. Just treacherous. Yeah. But we need to get off of this issue of of abortion. But going back to Kamala Harris and how she conducts herself, she don't stand on business. Everything is oh well, we're gonna follow the law. Okay, well, what laws do you support in regards to that? That would have been my follow-up question. What do you think the law should be? What do you think?
So decriminalizing border crossings, like you said in 2019.
I do not believe in decriminalizing border crossings, and I've not done that as vice president. I will not do that as president.
So these are evolutions that you've had.
But let's be very.
Get his ass.
Get the mosquito real quick.
That's it.
No, it's not. Get his ass. Get his ass. Get his ass.
Got him.
Ah!
He did it. He missed.
He did.
Okay, guys, for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and get off of that. But my point is, like, this lady is cooked, point blank, period. I understand why she doesn't want to go on platforms that she feels like are going to give her some pushback, because it's going to be easy to see through the game. It's going to be easy to see through the BS. And the bottom line is, these people are in office now. So if they wanted to do something about these things, they would try to do something. They've had this whole entire year to try to make something pop and to try to make something shake, and they haven't done it. So I don't want to hear about you promising to do stuff if you get reelected again. So you want me to come vote for you when you showed no evidence of wanting to do better. You want me to come vote for you again on a promise, but you've already showed me who you are, right? And a lot of people will say, oh, well, she's not the president. It doesn't matter. She was in control of that particular issue. And no, I didn't have to deal with it because I was in Texas, right? But the only reason why we didn't have to deal with all those things that are going on in New York, in Colorado, and all of that is because our governor decided to bust everybody out of our state. Okay. But I don't believe a word that's coming out of her mouth. No words are really coming out of her mouth that are of any substance. So no, ma'am, you will not get my vote. And I could go vote if I wanted to, even though I live abroad. Not doing it. You said absolutely nothing to bring me to the table. People are starting to see past the games. Oh, thank you, skinny boy. Yeah, we doing better. We going up. People are starting to see past the games, the lies, and the manipulation. And at this point, it's too late, and she's cooked. Now, it has been confirmed by Donald Trump that the Joe Rogan interview will happen. Y'all know Joe Rogan is the biggest podcaster in the world. Nobody is bigger than him. I trust that Joe Rogan is going to ask the questions that we all want to ask. And I believe that Donald Trump is going to answer them. And I think that after that interview happens, she's cooked. It's done. It's a wrap. Game over. They'd have to do a miracle from God. They'd either have to figure out some way to try to rig it, or they'd have to do miracles from God in order to be able to win this election. Because the more this woman opens her mouth, the more incompetent she is. And you have all these black people. I'm going to show y'all tomorrow when I come on live. You have all these people from California, these black people coming out and speaking about the things that they experienced while she was the prosecutor. It's gonna be awesome, and it's up. I don't see it for her. I don't see it for her at all. But anything could happen. Anything could happen. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming on my show. Just remember that I am a self-love coach. I do one-on-one coaching. If you need help changing your life, I changed my life. I moved to Colombia. Lost quite a bit of weight since I've been here. After living in the United States and being depressed, when I decided I wanted to change my life, I did something about it. So if you're interested in that type of change, send me an email at thepassportsis@gmail.com. Also, be sure to hit the like button on your way out. That helps my message get spread across these YouTube streets. And subscribe if you've been watching me for a while and you like my content. I'm trying to grow here. Yes, thank you to everybody who came to watch. Even if you didn't participate in the chat, thank you for being here. You could have been doing something else with your time. Thank you for everybody who participated in the chat. Thank you so much, Skinny Boy, for being an awesome moderator. Thank you to the rest of y'all who consistently show up. Trust me, it does not go unnoticed. Thank you so much, Jamal. You have a blessed day too. And I will see y'all tomorrow at the lunch hour.